How's it going? Wooden Spoon Supercoach here, back with the crown in its rightful spot on my head. 1350 last week. Very happy with it. To be honest, I thought I might have gone up a few more ranks than 3K with a 1350. It didn't look like there were many big scores out there at all. As shown by max score, 1197, that Walsh play. It was going to go one of two ways, and it went the bad way, so unlucky for him. For the prize pool, Project Spartan has shot into the lead. His little battle with shots getting intense. He made 622 by picking, I think it was 3 winners over the weekend. Obviously, a fair amount of upsets, destroying some of the multis. So Project Spartan's up to 5146. It'd be juicy little transfer at the end of the year if he can hold that there. And the main prize pool is up to 922.68. I'm going to go over TLT fairly quickly and just cover the main stuff. So for the Panthers, obviously Cleary is being rested. No point risking him. A lot of people looking at Jenkins lately, and I don't mind it. I really don't. Regardless of if Cleary is in or out of the side, he's going to do a lot of their try scoring. Obviously, it helps having Cleary in there, but I don't mind Jenkins at all. I've just got other priorities this week, as I imagine most people do, with Lasardi going down especially, freeing up money for people to make upgrades. There isn't too much else on the Panthers I want to touch on. I don't mind Dylan Edwards as an option too, but Panthers are, I've said it a million times, they're due for restings at the end of the year, and that's something I don't want to deal with. So if there's an option that's similar or better, I'll go there. Dane Jennings, he could be a playable nuff for a lot of people this week. If you just need a number and you want nothing to do with him afterwards, then he's your guy. You could downgrade maybe like a boss stock or something to free up some money. This is coming from someone who is very nuff heavy. I think I've got 3 at the moment. I'm going very aggressive. I don't recommend having 3. I think 2 is, pushing it. I do want to play very aggressive, concentrate my money into the players that I'm actually playing and try and make a push to get somewhat of a respectable rank this year. Keon's another guy that a lot of people are looking at. It's obviously very team dependent, this one. How strong is your forward pack? For me at the moment, I'm running Terrell May and Paseka, looking to bring in Payne Haas probably next week. So in my position, Keon doesn't really do much for me. He is a good price, but I feel like if you don't have one of Terrell May or are planning on getting Payne Haas, then I think they're probably the targets. They've proven to be the point scorers in that position this year, so I'm happy with that. Tallis Duncan, I've already got. I brought him in on the week. He scored like 150 or whatever. He's been a good own for me. Little bit scarier in the centers, but he's just such an attacking weapon for the Rabbitohs that it doesn't really matter whether he's at center or 2RF, and he's got the duel now, which is nice. So there's a lot of people jumping on him this week. I think he might even be the most traded in, which kind of annoys me because he was like my pod. Like no one had him, but yeah, hopefully he can continue to pop off for me. David Fafita, I'm not that interested in. I think that'll do it for that team. There's a good chance I missed stuff here. I'm not going over this with a fine-tooth comb like I would earlier in the year. So for the Dragons and the Tigers, there have been no changes for the Dragons, and honestly, not much worth talking about. Broken record on that. It's basically just the Couchmans, and yeah, that's it. For the Tigers, so Maxini is back in, which is interesting because my current trades, I do still have him. I also had Tavana, so I've nuffed out Tavana this week, even though that's kind of like a sideways nuff, just because him being named on the bench could be an AE nightmare. I'm just trying to tidy up my team now, get rid of these kind of guys. But I do still have Makasini, and he's named to play. Please just get some attacking stats this week. Get a little bit of money in there. I would love to flip him to a Jesse Ramian, who's also pretty cheap at the moment. But yeah, the money's just not allowing it, especially needing to get Payne Haas in. I can see the temptation for people looking at Adam Dewey. He's kind of like Turbo in the way that it's like, oh, does he get injured? He's got such a good ceiling. He's worth having blah, blah, blah. Basically, he's coming up against Nico and Cleary. Can he outscore them? Maybe one week here and there, but over the year, I don't see it. Terrell May, pretty much a must-have. Alex Twal's an interesting one. I think I sold him with the expectation of not getting him back. So I'm happy to let him go. I went Terrell May instead. If he does return to the form we saw him achieve earlier this year, then sure, don't mind it. But I think I've structured my team for the run home in a way where it doesn't really benefit me too much to get him back anyway, because my 2RF is pretty good. Broncos Sharks. I haven't been tipping as I've been going. Panthers, Rabbitohs. That's a genuine coin toss. Did I just say coin toss or coin toss? Anyway, I think I'm going to go the Rabbitohs. No, I'm going to go the Panthers. I don't really have too strong of opinion I don't have too strong of an opinion for that game. I think it could go either way, and I just don't want to doubt the Panthers. Dragons and Tigers. I think the Tigers get this one done. And this one, what I was going to say that reminded me to do the tipping. Sharks should roll over the Broncos in this game, but there's just that little part of the back of my mind saying, like, if the Broncos are going to start doing what they did last year, it's going to start happening soon. But just, I don't think this is the game. I think hopefully Hines puts on a masterclass. I can VC him because the captaincy on Turbo, spoiler alert for my trades, is scary. It would just be nice to not have to rely on it. I don't really think there's any Broncos to target at all. I'm sure if Mac was here, he'd be like, oh, these guys are worth looking at, because he'd be looking at the Broncos a lot more closely than me. I'm done. Outside of Payne Haas, until I see them click and get their sort of attacking finesse back, I'm just not going to touch any of them except for Payne Haas, who just runs up the middle like a fucking train. So yeah, that's all I've really got to say on that. A lot of people looking to replace Xavier Willison this week as well. So a lot of 2RF trading happening. When I get to my trades and have a look at my team, I think we'll come back to the 2RF. For the Sharks, as I mentioned, Ramian's a nice price. He's just over 400k, I think. I'll pull up the table I've made for the run home. There we go. So I do have the Sharks as having the best run home. There's a couple of tough games in there, but overall, I really like it. So I think now would be the time to get on a guy like your Jesse Ramians. I would like a Mulatalo. He's just a little out of reach. Depending on how the Dolphins go this week without Izzy Katoa, maybe I get rid of a Sako for a Mulatalo or something. But trades are getting a little scary. But, I think I'm in a decent enough spot where I can do a few more of these semi-luxury trades. Nico Hines is just a no-brainer. I think just Cleary Hines is the run-home combo if you want to make a push. I don't know why you'd want to go against him, to be honest. We'll see if Mac ends up cracking on his fading Cleary all year thing. He's come this far, he may as well keep going with it, because if it does work out and he picks a pod there, you'd have to respect it at the least. My mistake, Xavier Willison has been named. I've read his name on the team sheet and said people need to replace him. That was stupid of me. Good number for people in the bye week. So yeah, big shake-ups happening at the Broncos. I'm just not keen. And nothing too relevant there. Here we go. Oh, by the way, Sharks 13 plus into AC Eagles 13 plus, because I think we absolutely fuck them up. As I mentioned before, I've brought in Turbo this week. I wanted to do it last week, but I had to get my hands on Hamoli, which ended up being the right decision. So yeah, Turbo this week. Origin boys rested Joey Walsh in the side. This is so fucking exciting. It sucks for Luke Brooks because he was really starting to heat up for us. But how can you not be excited at Joey Walsh getting a starting role for the back end of the year? Like, oh, it's fairy tale stuff coming into the finals. So I've got Lehigh, and I don't mind it. He has put out a couple of his lowest scores of the year since I've bought him. But if we take those away, he's looking at a floor of like 50 or 60. Some weeks it just doesn't go his way. But as a center wing, 5, maybe even 6, I really don't mind it. Turbo back in the team. If we start humming, he's going to benefit from it. So, like him. Ben Trebojevic could be a sneaky one for the run home. Probably not going to do it myself. Yeah, there's not too much else to go on about here. But Turbo is going to be traded in en masse this week. I haven't looked at the stats, but I'm sure he is coming up against Para. Going into a really nice run for Manly as well. We can have a quick look at that. Parramatta, North Queensland, Gold Coast, Sharks, bye. Then it does get a little bit tougher for the run home. So whether that actually matters for Manly, because we've been playing good enough, who knows? But yeah, look, it's Turbo. I'm ready to get hurt by him every single time he's available. It's just not even a question for me. We've seen what he can do, and I'm not missing out on that ever, especially when he's the fullback for my club. That would make it hurt a lot more. Knights Dolphins, everyone's saying this will be a points fest. I don't see why not. A name that caught my attention just because he was so good at the start of the year, Jake Averillo. I'm going to quickly look him up. I just went on a ramble about Avarillo, but he's too risky considering that Izzy Katoa is out for a little bit. So we'll see how he goes. But yeah, keen eye on Avarillo. I think he could be good. Fletcher Sharp, I'm all of a sudden not that hot on. I don't plan on using a reserve slot on the run home in my 5/8. So I nuffed out Cody Walker last week, and I'm just going to run with Tamari Martin because he's been so good. So Tamari Martin is 563k. So probably not a guy you're looking to move to, but like he's the same price as Jake Clifford. Cameron Munster's starting to heat up, but after Melbourne's year, I wouldn't really want to go near him. Jaden Campbell's an option, but how many points are the Titans scoring? I think Tamari Martin is just the run home guy. He fills the slot for you. The Warriors play every game for the rest of the year. Yeah, that's locked in for me. I'll also have a keen eye on Osako. If the attack isn't humming as much for the Dolphins, I think it's time for him to go. I think even while they're putting on these massive scores, he hasn't really impressed. I think he scored a double like once for maybe a 90. So yeah, just not super happy with that. I'd like to flip him to a Mulatalo, as I said earlier, which is very rocks or diamonds, just play him on matchups or whatever. Marzu's another guy who could be on the chopping block, but it's just the KP factor. I can't treat this game like an expectation because his link up with KP is so good for SuperCoach scoring, so I'll have to probably just eat a 30 or a 40 from him this week. But who knows, maybe he can get some tries. Beauty, that's all for the teams list. I probably missed a shitload, but fucking whatever. So trades for this week. We're both getting rid of Lasardi. I'm going James Walsh for my third nuff. And we'll have a look at how that makes my team look in a second, but I'm fine with it. I've got depth where I need it. It might get a little tight at the back end of the year, but I've just plugged up some of those holes where AE scores could come in when VC loops get really important towards the end of the year. So happy with my decisions. And I've managed to get rid of Tavana and bring in Turbo. So I'm happy with my trades this week. I could have got Payne Haas this week, but I just figured, what's the point? He's not named backup. If he does, he'll get low minutes and probably stick around the same price. So whatever. Max gotten rid of Lasardi and Peradeo, who he, I think, ended up selling for cheaper than he bought him for in the end, which is crazy. Also going the nuff in James Walsh with that really nice duel. And he's getting Nico Hines back in. So can't fault those trades. Something a lot of people are going to need to consider this week is with the with that Souths guy who's just a play and then turns into enough. The 30-ish points he might get ya. Would you rather have James Walsh and have the flexibility of the duel and be able to move stuff around later in the year? I think that's more valuable than getting that 30 points from this one playable guy. There'll be certain teams where getting those points is like better for because, you know, maybe they've already got enough in 2RF like me and they don't need the flexibility. Yeah, don't just jump on the points. A lot of teams will benefit more from having James Walsh in there instead of the South Snuff guy, in my humble opinion. So I'm pretty happy with how my team's looking. Next week, Payne Haas will come in for either Tarpany or Paseka. I haven't decided yet. I'll probably keep Paseka just because Manly. And then I'm happy with the top half of my team. Dylan Lucas, Tallis Duncan, Ryan Couchman, Olaquatu, stacked, absolutely stacked. Tolty needs to go. Hines and Cleary, locked and loaded, that's fine. It'd be amazing if Ben Tolty could score a try or something this week and just go up like 40k, and then I can sell him to Ramian with Jules. That'd be lovely. Max team, huge for him that Willison's playing. That would have been rough. And yeah, once he gets Payne Haas back in, his forwards look solid enough. I'd say a little bit lacking in the 2RF. Maybe that could be the next direction he bolsters up in, but he has just had to bring Hines back in, and that's a lot of money, so I can understand it. And we'll move over to the backs, and I forgot that I had Jaden Campbell as well. I probably will want to move off him because I don't want to play 2/5/8s. I do have the Reece Foley nuff as well, so I could nuff out 5/8. A little bit riskier. Maybe I just hold on to him for depth at the moment. My wingers for this week, they look great. Osako, Farmworth, Marzu, Hopewadi, Makasini, and Iro. Obviously, Makasini's not great, but it's a major bye week. You got to do what you got to do. If I can turn Makasini into a Ramian or a Mulatalo, I'll be much happier. And for the fullback, I'm happy for now. If Teddy does start to kind of catch fire again, then I'll jump on him for, I don't know who the fuck for. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. And Max team, yeah, his centers. You know, it's probably that I've got more money in my 2RF. He's got slightly more money in his center wing. I really like his center wing. Yeah, I'd love to get Jenkins in. He's just so much fucking money. But yep, that's our moves for the week. Best of luck in round 18. The final major buy is going to be out of the way, and then it's full steam ahead for the run home. Try and get that rank as high as possible. And hopefully I don't crash in a heap with my 3 nuffs, potentially 4 coming up. At least it'll be educational to know how bad it is to do this many nuffs, or how good it is. We'll see. Anyway, leave your bets in the comments. See you next week. Hooroo.